Welcome to Come for Havoc number 2. We are going to talk about indigenous erasure. As a person who is part native, part white, and part black, and doing my genealogy and my reconnecting journey, I want to talk about this video that came across my FYP by another native. And, at the end, the native does laugh, and I don't blame him. But I'm going to show you guys this video, and hopefully you're going to understand what the hell is going on. Ready? Then you're going to watch it again. Now, here's the problem, because this is coming up all over TikTok with primarily people who are of color, who are primarily black people, trying to say that Native Americans were not here and that we did not exist. And it's the same shit with the round earth and the flat earth people. It's always something. But I want you guys to understand something. I come from both spectrums of this track. I am part black. May not look it to most people. I am also part native. May not look it to most people. Or to the natives that insulted me way back in my 20s. You're not pure blood. You're not valid. Versus the natives that take care of me on TikTok, which says being mixed native, I am valid. I am part of that community. Now, it has pissed me off to the highest point of festivity that I have to make another one of these videos. It has pissed me off to the point where I'm like, yo, I've made videos like this before where natives have did shit that I said I've been ashamed to be native. I've did shit where videos where I've been ashamed to be black. I've done videos where I've been ashamed to be white. You can find them here, and yes, all of them will probably bite me in the ass at some point in the future down the road. I have also did the video of Caucasoid, Negroid, and Mongoloid, which is the scientific name for whites Caucasoid, black people Negrozoid, I'm pretty sure I'm not saying them right, and everyone else, which would be Asian included, Mongoloid, which would also include the Native Americans because of a book where they crossed the land bridge. And now they're doing all the pseudoscience, and now they're saying natives originated in China versus Mongolia. Then there's back to natives being over here and moved over there. There's a lot of shit going on. This is me fixing some of the videos I made, me apologizing and covering my ass because those videos are going to come back to bite me in the ass. And now they can't because I just owned them. I was going by what the book said. All right? Now, when I was younger, believe you me, I used to believe the Native Americans came out of Alaska, out of Atlantis. And then once my Korean friend had proven me wrong, I was kind of upset because somewhere during school I apparently missed the land bridge thing because I always had believed that natives came out of Atlantis first. But scientifically proven, they have been proven to have crossed a land bridge at some point at some time. However, when the Earth was one whole continent, they are saying when life started there, anything that began life came out of Africa and migrated up. So now you see the fucking confusion. I'm not a scientist, so now we're just going to let the world figure it out. And I'm just going to sit over here on the sidelines and just accept my native indigeneity. I'm going to accept my black heritage and my white heritage, and I'm going to be okay with it. You know why? Because at the end of the day, I'm a human being, and who gives a fuck? So, indigenous erasure. For some reason, I'm about to stand up, y'all. But for some reason, my back. For some reason, a lot of black TikTokers, yes, I said it, black TikTokers, are against natives being natives. Now, I made a video about this also, so I'm going to go ahead and just combine these motherfuckers. I made a video about black resentment, alright? And how black people can be racist as well. Because a lot of people believe that because they're black, blacks can't be racist. And I will say this, and I will die on this hill. Every human being has the potential of being racist, prejudiced, or bigoted. You get to choose if you want to do that. You don't have to be racist. You don't have to be a bigot. You don't have to be a sexist. You don't have to be what everybody else is. You can fly above the clouds instead of flying in the clouds, maneuvering in and out on whose side I want to be on. But for the most part, and I'm only going to say this hopefully one more time, for the most part, this indigenous erasure thing is mostly coming from the black community. And we need to stop that shit now. Now, a lot of black people watching this video are probably going to be pissed off at me, but I'm going to clarify. First, there's nothing wrong with being black, alright? Whether you are black from America or black from Africa, and yeah, we all have our issues. But there's nothing wrong with being native. I happen to be one who is of black, native, as well as white ethnicity. Now, what you see in the front is what you get. And like I said, I like to keep everything with y'all. I give y'all all 99.9. Sometimes I have to give you the whole 1,000. And when those videos happen, you know that I'm giving you the whole 1,000. Because I don't really pull a lot of punches. But here's that thing. You know, a lot of people, specifically black people, don't like our own people. Yes, the paper bag test. Yeah, I failed it, I guess. I can't really say I passed it because I'm as light as the paper bag up here. And I've been through all this shit in grade school. Because in grade school, I was half N-word and half H-word. Alright? Go Google the Jeffersons. George Jefferson used the H-word a lot. Use the N-word. Go Google Barney Miller, I guess. That might not be the right show. I don't remember the name of the show. I think it was All in the Family. But the N-word was used a lot in the 70s and 80s, and now everybody's still using it. I'm trying to get young black kids to not use the word. In grade school, that's what I went through. And most of my racist and prejudiceness came at me through black people. Alright? I had some white friends that were okay, but then once the race war broke out, I was no longer okay with them. And then there was the white girl that I punched in the mouth for calling me the N-word. And so then none of my white friends were okay with me ever again after that until we got to middle school, high school. Because then everybody had their little cliques and my comic book ass was all by myself. I had some friends, but, I did comic books. I did kung fu and comic books. Those are the only things that mattered to me because girls weren't even giving me the time of day. And every girlfriend I had has always cheated on me. And then I got flack from people because I don't date black girls. Well, one black girl almost got me killed, so that ended all that right there. And I do like black women. I'm just not attracted to them sexually. Now, I'm very attracted to Asian women sexually. I'm very attracted to white women sexually. I'm very attracted to other women sexually. Does that mean black women don't mean nothing to me? No, black women are very attractive too. And when it comes to us mixed people, I'm very attracted to multicultural or biracial people as well. So if I bump into a woman who's multicultural mixed like me, then yeah, I'm highly going to be attracted to her. But am I going to marry her? Probably not. We might not have the same interests, we might not have the same goals. But I also know that I have always been treated better by Asian women than by black women or white women. Alright? With the exception of my last fiance, who pretty much dragged me over the coals. Okay? But also, mostly Asian women are the only women that's ever actually given me the time of day or to dignify me with a response when I even speak to them. So, yeah. If I'm going to marry anybody, she's either going to be Native American or she's going to be Asian. All other women are there, but they're not going to be on my I'm going to marry you list. Alright? But there's only one woman I really want to marry. She doesn't know I exist yet. But if the Double Z Wrestler does see this video, I got paintings for you saying I'm your future husband. And I tell you on your Instagram all the time that I'm going to marry you or die trying. Yes, Zeta Zang, I'm talking to you. Anyway, moving on. Indigenous Erasure started on TikTok over 2 years ago now. And it's been booming and booming and booming. And unfortunately, it's mostly come from the black community. So, How do we address this? How do we stop this? How do we fix this? How do we sit down and talk this through? And the only thing I can tell you is that you have to be on the willing side of listening. All right? And you can't go behind all the other, like, superficial guys with big names. You can't go behind Lance, the modern warrior, because you don't really know where his heart is anymore. You can't go behind a couple of the big names that are black because you don't know where their heart is anymore. But here's the funny thing. Genetically speaking, if you are black in America and you were born here by parents of Americans that were black, there is a high probability that you have either white or native or Asian DNA within your bloodline. Whether you choose to believe it or not, it's up to you, which is why you need to do a genealogy test and a DNA test and see where you get to. Now, knowing that, you can't really throw the you're not as black as me card at me. But it's been proven that through slave master sexual assaults, slave owner sexual assaults, overseer sexual assaults, is how you have people like me in existence. Which was kind of funny because once freedom was given to everybody, they started outlawing interracial relationships, which is like bullshit because you can't tell someone who they have the right to love and who they don't have the right to love or procreate with. Yet everybody wants to fight about abortions and not giving the women the right to choose. Alright? Any woman that would be stupid enough to choose somebody who looks like her and beats her ass all the time and have their babies, that's not a fucking choice. That's slavery. It's also assault. It's also against the law. And it also goes against the laws of man. You know, how are you going to be with a woman and beat her and then make her have your child after you beat her and sexually assault her? She should have the right to choose. Again, irrelevant to this video, but just pointing that out. Now, as Indigenous Erasure goes, again, this is mostly coming from the black community to the native community, where you have black people in the first 5 minutes of this video, or the first 5 seconds of this video. I showed you the lady in feathers. I showed you the lady dancing in the yard. I showed you the black guy in feathers, etc., etc. You can go back and watch that video part again. But the point being made is, this Indigenous Erasure shit is really only coming from the black community, which totally fucking sucks. Being that I am a part of both the native and the black community, my feelings are hurt. You know, my feelings are hurt really, really bad because I don't know how to appropriately address it. Sorry, I had to answer this question for, yeah. Damn it, I'm doing this all wrong. Anyway, I'll run the video one more time. This is a school. This is a black dude in feathers. This is a lady dancing around. This is another lady. That's another lady. And this is a native. This is the lady that kind of rolled the ball. And this is another one. Now, with the exception of that, because those were white people, which y'all can't see, so now I got to do this shit all over again. All right. So, these are black women. That's a native man. This is a white lady talking about Sokotawa. This is a black lady. This is a black lady. This is white people. This is a black man. This is a black woman. This is another black woman. It's another black woman. This is a native. Now that you've seen that, my back hurts, so I have to stay standing and tripping over flashlights and shit. Point being made is that Indigenous Erasure has been popping up a lot, and mostly has been done by the black community towards the native community. We all need to sit down and have a talk. And the thing is that natives and blacks worked well together doing the Underground Railroad and some other things, and some natives assimilated blacks into their families, which also explains skin tone and everything too. But a lot of people who are just pure D black Americans don't want to accept that. And it might not be that they're pure D black Americans, they just don't want to fucking be black. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I went through so much racism from black people more than white people, I can relate. But I also can't subjugate another race of people for something that was done to me by a race of people. Do you understand what I'm saying? I cannot get mad at all black people for the actions of other black people. I can't get mad at all natives for the results of the two natives that told me that I wasn't pure blood and that I couldn't date their niece. I can't get mad at all the white people who were mad at me because of the action of maybe 5 to 7 white people that have chosen to give me some flack. And there was a white man that called me chief. And I don't know if he was racist, but as I talked to like people on TikTok, I was like, don't make excuses for him because what he was doing was racist. I didn't count it as racist because I wasn't sure. I know that this man played some very sad music, which was country music. I got friends in low places. The Thunder Rose, Way Down Yonder was the only good one, and the Tush Push. But he mostly played sad country music. I assumed at 16 that this man was just going through some shit. But as I told people on native TikTok, it was like, nah, this motherfucker might have just been racist and you just was too young to not understand he was being racist, because the more I asked him not to call me chief, when I had a name tag on my chest as bright as day in big bold black letters with a big white tag behind it saying James, he refused to call me that. He just kept calling me chief. And at this time, the Renegades movie came out where Lou Diamond Phillips, who's also part native, would go off and flip off and like start busting people up when they called him chief. And I guess I picked on the persona because when people started calling me chief, it started making me mad. Started making me really, really fucking mad. So, you know, I'm not a saint. I've done shit, but I've also been learning. I did shit before I was on my reconnecting journey, and that shit's probably going to come back to bite me in the ass with my fake hairdress, which I locked away, my fake shirt and shit, which I locked away because I didn't know. I didn't know that I was offending my people. And now that I found out, and I'm doing more research on Cherokee, who didn't wear the frillies and didn't wear war paint, because I have pictures of me in war paint, you know, Indigenous Erasure is bad. I've seen videos where white cats are wearing war paint and war bonnets and all kinds of shit and claiming native stuff, and I didn't know this shit existed until I got on TikTok. And once I got on TikTok, you know, it's like, oh, you know, so this is what I need to understand. So when I'm embracing my heritage, I get it now. And then Indigenous Erasure happened. And then I really got a hold of my indigenous side and said, no, I got to fight this. And I have to fight it for the indigenous side, regardless of the fact that I am both native and black as well as white. I got to fight it because it's not right. Now, black people, I made a video about how we hate being black. But we hate being black because we've made it this bad for us by allowing shit to do and not calling each other out when we fuck up. Alright? But, again, a lot of blacks run around TikTok. You're not a real native. You're not a real native. Real natives are black people. And I'm like, you know what? I have the biggest dog in this fight. So I better make this video and I better do it right. I am part native. I am part black. I am part white. My name is Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Remember it. But the most important thing you need to remember, more than anything else, I'm fighting for my indigenous side because there's not enough representation. There's not enough indigenous warriors out here speaking on this. And there's not enough indigenous people on YouTube. So understand that if I pissed you off and you're black and not indigenous, why don't you go take a look at some of the indigenous erasure that's going on TikTok, and then you can come back and give me the finger if you want. Now you can either give me the middle finger or you can give me the thumbs up, because the truth of the matter is it's mostly, unfortunately, the black people that are doing this indigenous erasure shit. I'm going to make a part 2. So, thank you for watching.